Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, Scorpios, first off, happy full moon. Our full moon broke on yesterday on Sunday. And so we're still rocking the full moon energy. You know, there's usually like a 3-day span for some full moon energy. This is known as the snow moon. Also, the Cherokee called this the hungry moon. And so we'll keep that in mind. But of course, full moons are great times to bring things from the subconscious to the forefront, things that we want, things that we want to release, bring things into the light that maybe need to be dealt with. So we'll keep all that in mind. But we start out with the World card, followed by the King of Cups, followed by the Seven of Wands. So the thing that this full moon seems to be illuminating, honestly, I mean, I know we have a feminine on this King's card, but it looks like something is coming full circle. I don't know if we have someone who is like aware that Aries, sorry, I just did an Aries video, that Scorpio is the one for them. Scorpio, even if they turned their back on Scorpio, this actually looks like they are the ones who can't forget and they're right back where they started again. It's like, I can't unknow what I already know. Scorpio was my great love. Scorpio was the person that I wanted to be the King of Cups to, but they were like fighting with themselves saying, I just don't know how I could ever get back there. You know, they can't shake this, that Scorpio was the one for them. They cannot shake that feeling. And yet they're stubbornly still trying to say, well, it's too late now anyway. You know, it's too late now. This is how we overcome struggles. They're not trying to overcome anything. They're just trying to, it's almost like dig themselves in deeper with the idea that too late. But the way they're digging themselves in deeper is like maybe to focus more on work and to try to achieve more. But they have this, you know, like omnipresent awareness that, but I loved Scorpio. But yeah, it's too late. It's too late anyway. With that Empress being sideways there, I mean, this is somebody who is trying to convince themselves that either it never would have worked or, you know, they never would have wanted me. We have 3 of Cups upright. Oh my gosh. Probably Scorpio's moved on. Scorpio's met somebody else. Scorpio didn't really love me that much. They're trying to lie to themselves. I think they know Scorpio like really, really loved them. I think that they're trying to rewrite history so that they don't have to feel like they missed out. So they're telling themselves everything under the sun. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm sure Scorpio's forgotten me. I'm sure they moved on. I'm sure they didn't really want me that much. They didn't really love me. And they've moved on with somebody else. And yeah, and that was the way it was supposed to go. They are telling themselves these things because they keep pushing down these feelings that are like bubbling up. Why is it that, I mean, it's weird because for a full moon message, for them to say, I'm right back where I started, which is I pictured marrying Scorpio. Oh God, but I missed my chance. But you know what? Too late now. Too late. It's weird that that's the thing that they're trying to like squash. They're trying to squash a truth for themselves. The devil. I feel like this person is literally fighting with themselves to not call or text Scorpio. I feel like they've done this before too, but it just got really bad again. Like the desire to reach out seems here like they fight with themselves nonstop. And it's a fight in themselves because as much as they know, like Scorpio was their happiness, Scorpio's still the person they wish they could marry. It's crazy because everything that they're fighting with themselves over is the idea of like, I could almost like feel how good it would be to be standing there and saying, I do. This can be a marriage card. I can almost feel how amazing my life would be if I had Scorpio, you know, got to wake up next to them, got to like just casually interact with them and they were my person and I was theirs. I can feel how good that would be. And it's taking all of me to not just reach out and try to recapture that. Why are you doing this? I don't get it, character. If you want Scorpio that much, where you can almost feel, I don't know why that song like Sugar on My Tongue, that's in my mind right now. But why are you fighting it? Something here with the Justice card and the King of Wands. Maybe they feel like Scorpio would never take me back. They would never take me back. Did they go off in a different direction then? Did they go become somebody's King of Wands instead of Scorpio's King of Cups? Because we saw King of Cups first, matching perfectly with a Queen of Cups, which would be the Scorpio and them dynamic. But if they went ahead and I don't know why this person insisted I should move on from Scorpio when they never wanted to, but it looks like they did. And they're saying Scorpio would never have me back. So although I went to some other person, and let me tell you, it was not my match. It's not who I was supposed to be with. I was supposed to be with Scorpio. Maybe they feel like they figured it out too late. We have the Queen of Cups yet again. How could I have done this to my Scorpio? I don't know if they tried to even substitute somebody like it was Scorpio. And that's the other thing that was so messed up. All they wanted was Scorpio, and they knew it, but they were like, I can't have Scorpio, so I have to go find somebody else, but I'll treat them like they're Scorpio. With this Five of Wands sideways, they're like, Scorpio would never be able to understand why I did that. I don't understand why you did that. Character, it seems like you have been smitten with Scorpio your whole, like the entirety of the time you've known Scorpio, yet you went in a different direction. Ace of Swords. What's the Ace of Swords about? Hanged Man and the Sun. Okay, so again, I can't pretend that I understand this because I don't, but it says what they have realized is, for whatever reason, it's like Scorpio was so bright, so beautiful, that kind of happiness they knew they could have with Scorpio. It's like it blew their circuit boards, and they thought, there's no way I can do this right now. There's no way I could have this now. That has to be something that, it would be too perfect, and I can't possibly have a perfect life. I mean, there's no way that I could have this kind of happiness, not right now anyhow. What was your biggest reason why you said I can't possibly allow myself to be happy with the Scorpio that I want? Seven of Swords. Okay, so they felt like an imposter in some way in their own life. This is somebody who, okay, they stayed away from Scorpio because their supposed life plans, they didn't really feel like they had strong direction at all. They may have talked a good line, and they may have felt very inadequate. Let's give a scenario. Let's say this is somebody who, their family was rah-rah. We want to see you go through school and become, whatever, an architect, a builder. And let's say they didn't even want to do that, but they felt pressured into it. Now they're on this life path, and it's not even the right path for them. And although they love Scorpio, they're like, the truth of it is, though, my entire life path and what Scorpio knows me as doing for a living, frankly, I don't know what I do want to do, but I know that this is not what I ever wanted for a career path. But then what? Then I have to still go figure myself out, and that's going to be embarrassing. And it's also going to be like, there's no way I can be with a Scorpio, even though they're the one thing I'm sure of, when other components of my life are just kind of like a lie. And I really don't know yet where I belong or what my path is. And I feel like that made them feel like an imposter, and that made them think that they couldn't possibly then, be with Scorpio. But my big question here is, so did you go off with somebody else though? Like, because I don't understand how it would have been better when you knew you loved Scorpio, but you were, kind of in a crisis in like the path you'd chosen in life, and you needed to figure yourself out. That part makes sense. But the one thing you did know was how much you loved Scorpio. So did you go down a different road with somebody else? Nine of Swords, King of Pentacles. It's like they kind of had a meltdown. I don't even know that I would say that they went off to be with somebody else. I thought that at first because they turned into the King of Wands, but now we have them having a meltdown and turning into a King of Pentacles as well. It more feels like maybe this person is in the midst of an identity crisis, not about their feelings about Scorpio, but maybe they're just still trying on different hats and saying, I'm supposed to be really successful, but I don't know where I belong in this world for what my talents are. I don't know what, I'm supposed to be a king, but I keep trying different things and nothing is clicking. I'm not finding, like, maybe this person is super artistic and talented, but they keep getting pushed to go down roads that have nothing to do with the arts. And it's like, it's soul crushing and they hate different career paths, and it's like, my God, I can't even figure out where I belong. I don't think this is about them getting together with other people. I think this is about them feeling inadequate because they haven't found their true path in life. And they just did not think that they were allowed to, how are they going to marry Scorpio? But at the same time, they're like, yeah, but I have no idea what I'm going to do. In fact, I can't figure out what I like in life. The only thing I know is that I really like you. I could understand maybe now why they would have been. Look, this person lies a lot. We've had the card of lies twice, but I don't feel like they lie to be deceptive and rude and unkind to other people. It feels like they have either been pushed into lying about who they are, and that's really confused and conflicted things. And then they try to act like they're not missing out on a great love story by lying to themselves and saying, you know what, Scorpio, should have moved on anyway. I'm sure that they have. It's just crazy because the one thing that is constant in their life is this. They may be confused about what career path to be on, but the one thing that's always been constant is that they really love Scorpio. I think that's a pretty good starting point for something stable in their life, something true. But I don't know if, let me just ask, during this full moon, like, are they having an awakening in regards to that simple fact that there is one thing I can hang my hat on, and that is how I feel about Scorpio. We have the moon, we have the tower. Honestly, this is way bigger than even their feelings for Scorpio. A bunch of stuff is getting shaken and rattled in them during this full moon. This is a huge full moon for them. I don't know what's going on with Scorpio because Scorpio hasn't shown up. This just keeps feeling like they are going through a huge, like, ego drop. Tons of things that they tried to hide are coming to the surface right now. Two of Wands, the one thing I will say is if they're about to make a big change, that reminds me of that World card that we saw at the beginning. I feel like they're this close to reaching out to Scorpio once again and maybe just laying down the, yeah, they're this close to like knocking on that door and saying, Scorpio, I'm hearing that song by Linda Ronstadt and Aaron Neville. I don't know much, but I know I love you. And that may be all I need to know. It feels like that. It feels like maybe this person's North Star, the one thing that they can count on, the one thing that their compass tells them to gravitate toward is Scorpio. And the fact that they do love Scorpio. I would not be shocked if somewhere not too far after this full moon, this character reaches out to Scorpio and says, I have no idea, honestly, what I'm doing in my life. I feel like it's upside down. I don't know which direction to go, but I know how I feel about you. Always did. Like that may be the one thing that this person is going to be able to say and able to lay out. And what they could be low key asking for is like, can I come to you? And then figure out what direction my life goes after that. Because it kind of feels like no matter what they do, if they don't have Scorpio, then nothing's right. They're not on the right path because they're always missing the one thing that they really want. Almost like, well, that's their starting point. If they gravitated towards Scorpio and something that they knew was real, then from there, I mean, sometimes when we blend our energy with the right person or the right place, that's when everything else starts to unfurl. Because now we meet other people, we have a location that we now live in, and it's like, okay, this is where I find a job. This is where I start to build, or this is the business that I start with Scorpio, or I don't think this person is like confused about anything other than much of their life. It seems like they've not been living their truth, and maybe other people have been shoving them into things that they thought they were supposed to do instead of allowing themselves to do things that were right for themselves. I think Scorpio is the first opportunity this person has ever had that maybe they'll do something that's right for themselves and start to turn everything around from there. All I can say is in this story, it looks like they are realizing I'm going to have to talk to Scorpio. That's what I see in this. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.